Good day everyone, we are the Group 6 and we are here to discuss about the topic in Module 6. But before anything else, I just want to introduce first the members of Group 6. Judalan Cantos, Jamaica Bernabe, Hannah Rafa, Marinela Boras, Joyce Ann Villaverde, Sabrina Patok, and Janelle Mayuga. Module 6, Unpacking the Self, the Digital Self. Here are the concepts.
Self ay isang usapin tungkol sa iba't ibang personas ng isang tao sa real world or sa social media. Ang mga tao ay kayang gumawa ng iba't ibang persona lalo na sa social media. May mga taong pinipiling makibagay para makasabay sa uso at para maging sikat. Ang bawat persona ng isang tao sa social media ay malayo sa totoong pag-uugali nila sa realidad. Masyadong mapanlin lang ang social media, hindi mo pwedeng ipagkatiwala ang ibang bagay lalo na kung ang mga taong iyong pagkakasabihan ay alipin ng social media.
Digital self. We have different social media accounts which represent us to the online world. Digital self is the self or the personality that we show in sharing in online world. It includes posting, commenting, reacting, tweeting, sharing, and socializing ourselves with the people on the internet.
Here are some examples of digital self. For instance, even though other users of social media may perceive you as nice, outgoing, talkative, you may not actually be confident enough to engage in conversation or social interaction. This is what digital self is, and it just serves to demonstrate how easily we can change the personalities that are displayed online. It can be made by ideas and thoughts that we genuinely desire to have. Some of the reasons are also because of what we wanted to be in the same crowd or vibe as the other role models. Sa panahon ngayon, maraming mga kabataan, ganoon na rin ang mga matatanda ang gumagamit ng social media at merong digital self. Maraming mga tao ang nagpapakita ng mga magagandang sides nila sa social media in order to gather attention from other people. And this is what digital self is. In the age of technology. Maraming tao ang nag-e-enjoy gumamit ng social media dahil mas napapadali daw nito ang pagbibigay ng information, ideas, and communication. Pero kung may magandang maidudulot ang social media, mas maraming masamang epekto ang naibibigay nito sa atin. Katulad ng masyadong pagka-addict sa ganitong platforms to the point na nakakalimutan na natin ang totoong buhay na ginagalawan natin. Marami na rin kabataan ang dinedepende na ang pakikitungo nila sa ibang tao through social media. Masyado na tayong kinain ng idea ng teknolohiya. Umaabot na tayo sa punto ng buhay natin na mas pinipili nating makibagay sa mundo ng social media kaysa kung paano tayo sa totoong buhay o sa labas ng social media. Social media. Social media is defined as the websites and applications that make it easier to create and share information, ideas, and interests. It also allows people to create other forms of self-expression by virtual communities and networks. Through the use of social media, people may act differently since interaction in social media do not happen face-to-face and there is no physical presence required. This is also called online disembodiment. With this, people are less likely to display their real selves to others, especially to strangers. There are also several platforms available in social media. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are few of them. In addition to this social media, the current generation also has certain platforms that may be utilized for learning, such as Google Classroom, Zoom Meeting, and many other educational platforms. Online disembodiment is created to satisfy our true desires, which makes our personalities difficult to pin down. Due to this online disembodiment, it prevents us from developing more authentic and reliable relationships. Dahil sa digital self, nabubuo ang online disembodiment sapagkat hindi natin maayos na naipapakita ang mga bagay, ang mga ugali na meron talaga tayo na ipinapakita natin during face-to-face interactions. For instance, we only fully reveal our personalities, positive attitudes, and other appealing aspects of ourselves to other people in the online world. As a result, we do not entirely disclose our approach or any flaws we may have. Because of this, we are actually being dishonest with the people we are communicating in the online world or in the social media.
Digital identity. From the word itself, identity means the personality or the role we represent in a specific or particular social group. When it comes to digital identity, it refers to one's role identity that he or she project himself or herself in an online environment. Ang digital identity ay ang pagkakakilanlan or ang personalidad ng isang individual na kanyang nire-representa sa online or virtual society. Kadalasan, magkaiba ang pinapakita ng isang tao pagdating sa kanyang online interactions kumpara sa kanyang face-to-face interactions.
They say everyone is likely to have a living, breathing doppelganger. Whether you believe that or not, this is for a certain. If you've ever used the internet to do something as simple as create an email account or social media profile, like most of us have, then Viola, you do have a doppelganger. However, instead of an identical twin made of flesh and bone that may exist in real world, it's actually you that thrives in the digital one. What's more, that version of you has a digital identity, and it's worth more than you may think. For addition, digital identity is essentially any personal data existing online that can be traced back to the real you. For example, photos you've uploaded to social media, posts you've created or commented on, your online bank account, search engine history, and yes, if you're a gamer, your stream account too. A digital identity or digital ID is a representation of a person's real self online. Just like in the real world, there are many unique identifiers that can make up a digital identity. These include personal information like name and date of birth, email addresses. Understanding digital identity is important because digital identity and verifiable credentials provide a trusted and reliable way to prove who you are, both online and in the physical world. As more transactions move online, being able to prove your identity online in a safe, secure, and trusted manner will allow you to navigate the digital world with confidence.
So, let us proceed to online disinhibition effect. What is online disinhibition effect? Online disinhibition effect is the lack of restraint one feels when communicating online in comparison to communicating in person. People feel safer saying things online which they would not say in real life because they have the ability to remain completely anonymous and invisible behind a computer screen. Also, ODE, or also known as online disinhibition effect, is when people adopt fake identities. They're likely to engage in behaviors that they would not do in real life interaction, known as online disinhibition. The example of online disinhibition effect is when a group of students might bully a classmate online and then feel emboldened to bully him or her in person. The dangers of online disinhibition effect. The online disinhibition effect helps to explain the vicious attacks people frequently engage in online. Mean-spirited blog comments, threatening emails, and other negative comments are often encouraged by this effect. Some people troll others on the internet even if they would never bully someone in real life. The disinhibition effect of online culture also helps to encourage cyberbullying and groupthink. This effect can cross over into real life. For example, a group of students might bully a classmate online and then feel emboldened to bully him or her in person. There have several well-documented cases of online bullying leading to organized efforts to ostracize classmates, severe depressions in victims, and even suicide. While the benefits of online disinhibition effect, can greatly increase the cruelty of some people and may cause political debates to rage completely out of control. It offers several benefits. Socially isolated people may feel less self-conscious or shy on the internet. Thus, they are better equipped to make friends and establish online personas that may help to give them greater confidence in real life.
There are two main categories of behaviors that fall under online disinhibition. Number 1, benign disinhibition, and number 2, toxic disinhibition.
Benign online disinhibition describes a situation in which people get some benefit from the absence of restraints in cyberspace. One example of benign online disinhibition can be seen as self-disclosure. With the help of internet anonymity, people could share personal feelings or disclose themselves in the way they are reluctant to do in real life. For instance, young people feel relieved when revealing untold secrets or personally embarrassing details in online chats. Such self-disclosures enable people to establish an intimate interpersonal relationship sooner and stronger when compared with the real-life face-to-face communication. The online disinhibition effect also provides chances to express themselves for people who are unwilling to communicate in real world, like people who are introverted, shy, socially phobic, and individuals with a stutter or impaired hearing. The other type of online disinhibition is called toxic disinhibition, which represents an increased tendency towards online flaming and inappropriate behaviors. These often contain hostile language, swearing, and even threats. This norm describes the negative side effect of the loss of inhibition on a cyberspace. The antisocial behaviors caused by toxic disinhibition not only occur in multiple online platforms like blogs, hate sites, and comment sections, but also exist in diverse forms which include cyberbullying, social loathing, and more. Okay, so let us proceed to managing responsible online behavior. How can one behave responsibly online? Well, these are the following suggestions. Number 1, do not post or send anything that will embarrass you. Well, we all know that people may behave differently online than they do in person. The large audience is invisible, so many feel protected by their screens. This can be a positive thing, like someone feeling more confident to open up and be themselves. But sometimes people will misuse social networks to shame and bully others. Number 2, avoid posting statements when experiencing strong emotions. Well, posting online is instant, public, and more often than not, permanent. Once you post, you lose control of what happens to it. It only takes one friend to share it on their own profiles for it to be completely out of your hands. Number 3, do not hang out with the wrong crowd online. Your mother was right. Who you hang out with influences what you do. Hanging out with the wrong crowd leads to unintended consequences. Also, you didn't know what is happening behind a computer if your friends are true to you because you haven't seen their true identity. Number 4, do not hang out with the wrong crowd offline. Being friends with the wrong people is hard because we didn't know if we are still doing the right thing that we have to do, and sometimes we forget the limits that we have. Also, there are friends who are with you when doing nonsense things, but when you get caught, you'll never see their faces again. Number 5, be careful with oversharing, especially confidential information that may be used irresponsibly. Photos or information about family members could expose their identities, locations, or potentially make them targets. Information about your life or past could be used to guess your password or security questions. There is nothing wrong more important than keeping your personal information secure so that you can prevent identity theft. Lastly, number 6, respect other people in the online community. Respect comes in many forms. While everyone wants to be respected, what comes through online may not feel as if that respect is being received or given. Treat people online the same way you would treat someone face to face. If you wouldn't say it or do it in person, don't do it in online.
And that's all for today's lesson. I am Joyce Verde, who presented the online disinhibition effect and managing responsible online behavior. Thanks for listening.
How can we have a healthy self-presentation? Self-presentation falls under impression management. It includes expressing oneself and interacting that leave a favorable impression. Using our account, it will depend on how we use or show ourselves through digital. That's why we need to be careful in using social media, especially our account. Let's move on positive online interaction. Number 1. Netiquette. It will guide us on how to behave in digital world, especially on interacting with people. Second, sharing the information. It must be reliable, accessible, and credible. So if you want people to inform, it would be legit. Following our people we want. We can follow people or idol and to be inspired by them, or to be entertained by them. Posting. It is common to Filipino that posting is a big deal to us because anything we post are reflecting to ourselves. That's why we need to think twice before clicking.
Now let us have a brief summary of our lesson, Unpacking the Self, the Digital Self. So in this lesson, we discussed 3 topics, right? So we have the self in the age of technology, second, online disinhibition effect, and managing online behavior. So when we are in the online world, people maintain one or more online identities, which they portray. So in simple words, your digital self is the persona you use when you're online, whether you are posting, commenting, reacting, tweeting, sharing, and socializing with people on the internet. Now let us have the self in the age of technology. So here we define social media as the websites and applications that make it easier to create and share information, ideas, and interests. It also allows people to create other forms of self-expression via virtual communities and networks. And we had discussed what is online embodiment. And this is the idea that once the user is online, the need for the body is no longer required. And the user can participate separately from it. So with the people, they are less likely to display their real selves to others, especially to strangers. So with regards to digital identity, people generally have role identities. These are the characters and roles an individual creates as a member of a particular social group. Following this definition, self is composed of identities ranked by importance. So the greater the commitment of an individual to a particular identity, the greater the importance of this identity. And in an online environment, one's role identity is vitally important in order for him or her to project him or herself in the said environment. Amidst the technological tools and channels surrounding individuals and online activities that people engaging in, one's online identity enables him or her to participate in a virtual society. However, participation in virtual environments may entail changes that may affect a person's sense of self. In some cases, people present themselves differently in online interactions as compared to the face-to-face interactions they engage in. Now let us have the second topic, online disinhibition effect. So online disinhibition effect is when people behave differently online than they would in real life. And there are two main categories of behaviors that fall under online disinhibition. So the first one is the benign disinhibition. It occurs when people tend to self-disclose more on the internet than they would in real life, or go out of their way to help someone or show kindness. The second one is the toxic disinhibition. So people take part of this when they use rude language, bully or threaten others on online platforms, and go to websites with contents of violence, crime, and pornography. For our third topic, managing responsible online behavior. So we have here some suggestions on how can one behave responsibly online. So the first one, do not post or send anything that will embarrass you. Second, avoid posting statements when experiencing strong emotions. Third, do not hang out with the wrong crowd online. Fourth, do not hang out with the crowd offline. Fifth, be careful with oversharing, especially confidential information that may be used irresponsibly. And the last one, respect other people in the online community. And also for us to have a healthy self-presentation, of course, we need to be careful in using our social medias, especially our account, because it's our identity. And second, you need not to be perfectly real in digital world to prevent cyberbullying. Third, control your identity if it must be in private or public. And then the last one, think many times before posting. Now let's proceed to the positive online interaction. So of course, first is netiquette. Alright, so it will guide us how to behave in digital world, especially interacting with people. So second, sharing the information. So it must be reliable, credible, and accessible. And the last one, follow people who will motivate and inspire you. So, to all the social media users, we need to be wise, think before we click. Thank you.